No matter how good your code is, bugs sneak in. And Rust's compiler is great, but it doesn't catch everything. Today I'm going to show you how to debug Rust code. Alright, let's get started. Okay, we're going to start with something simple, print macro. A lot of developers say, never use print debugging. But the truth is, every senior engineer does it, including Rust experts. It's fast, it's simple, and sometimes it's the best tool for the job. Let's create a quick example that actually has a bug. Now, at a glance this looks fine, until you realize that when n is 30, we are literally doing division by 0, which means the program panics. If we run this, we get thread main panicked at attempt to divide by 0. Now let's see how we debug this quickly using print debugging. After adding print statement, the output walks you right into the failing case. n equals 30, n minus 30 is equal to 0. This shows immediately where the problem comes from, before the program panics. Now, sometimes you're debugging complex data structures, not just simple integers. Rust has a built-in trait called debug that lets you use debug format specifier. Let's try a more useful example. The pretty debug format specifier prints it in a pretty indented way, giving you all the information about the struct. This is incredibly helpful for debugging nested structs, enums, vectors, hash maps, pretty much any Rust type that derives or implements debug. So yes, print debugging is powerful. But sometimes, you need to go deeper. Now let's go into real debugging. LLDB is the debugger that comes with Xcode on macOS, and it's the default debugger used by the LLVM, low-level virtual machine, ecosystem, which Rust uses heavily. Let's say we have a small example. Of course, this panics because we're dividing by 0 again. Let's debug this using LLDB. First, build the project using cargo build. The binary is in target, debug. You can find your project name here, like debugging in Rust in my case. Then run LLDB using this command. Inside LLDB we can run these commands. Breakpoint set. Name. Compute sets a breakpoint at the start of the compute function. Run starts the program. Frame variable. Dumps all current variables. Super nice for inspecting complicated Rust types. Next, executes the next line. This process allows you to watch the state change line by line until you isolate the exact point where the faulty behavior, the panic, occurs. LLDB also has better support for Rust pretty printers, human-readable values, than GDB in many environments, especially on macOS. Now let's talk about GDB. GDB is the GNU debugger, and Rust fully supports it, as long as you're using a nightly or stable toolchain with debug symbols. The workflow is super similar to LLDB. To debug using GDB. First build the project using cargo build, then run GDB using this command. Once inside GDB, we can run these commands. Let me walk you through those commands conversationally. Break compute. Sets a breakpoint at the compute function. Run. Starts the program. It stops at the breakpoint. Print x. Prints the value of x and inspect values step by step. Next. Executes the next line, evaluate variables, and track the moment the division fails. Print n and print m. Prints the values of variables. This is the kind of insight print debugging can't easily give you. Now for the part most people actually want, debugging Rust inside VS Code. The best extension for this is CodeLLDB, not the default C++ debugger. To use CodeLLDB in VS Code, first install the extension. Search for CodeLLDB in extensions. Install the one by Vadim Chuganov. Once installed, let's set up a launch configuration. In project root directory, create a new folder .vs code. Inside this folder, create a new file launch.json. Inside launch.json, we can write configurations according to our requirements. For now, I am using this configuration named Debug Rust Program. Now you just hit F5 and VS Code launches the debugger. You get step in, step out, breakpoints, watch variables, call stack, etc. Let's use a real example. Set a breakpoint at if n equals 0. Run the debugger. You'll see n decreasing with each recursive call in the left sidebar. If something goes wrong or the recursion depth is too high, this makes it instantly obvious. You can even hover over variables to see their values inline. Now what if you want to generate a backtrace when a panic occurs? To do that, Rust gives you another tool, backtraces. By default, detailed backtraces are not always printed. To enable them, set the Rust backtrace environment variable before running your Rust program like this. and the panic output becomes a full stack trace. Setting it to 1 prints a basic backtrace. We can see the stack backtrace in the output. Compute, main, and so on. We can also set it to full. This will print a more detailed backtrace, including file names, line numbers, and function symbols. This alone solves a lot of runtime crash debugging. Now here's something many beginners don't know. If you're debugging a release build, Rust applies aggressive optimizations that may reorder code or remove variables. To debug optimized builds, add this to your cargo.toml. Setting debug equals true keeps debug symbols while still optimizing your code. Remember, debug builds are accurate but slow. Release builds are fast but harder to debug. This setting gives you the best middle ground. Alright, we've covered a ton of debugging techniques today. Rust gives you an ecosystem where debugging is powerful and flexible, whether you're building CLI tools, async services, embedded systems, or games.